at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line. Here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, when we all do a little, we change a lot.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Live from the 93.7 The Ticket Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Inside the Huddle with Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Fires a pass, and it's intercepted by the Huskers at the 25, Jay Foreman. And Foreman takes it down to the 19-yard line of Oklahoma. Another big play by the Black Shirts.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging.
What up, Jay Foreman, Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Like I always say, take care of all your imaging needs. They take good care of me, of some pain relief, and to try to keep me up and upright. Nevertheless, they also do some really good stuff with the screening for breast cancer, and had a really big breast cancer awareness walk on the 12th, I think. And that was a big hit. It'll be even bigger next year, so be on the lookout for that. But obviously, you know, this is another loss for the Huskers. This one's a little bit different, you know. Hold on a second. I use these here.
Yeah. You're saying this one's different. I'm curious as to how, but I'll let you shoot.
Well, I guess I misspoke. I think it's a little different because, I mean, I guess it's not that much different. I think it's a little bit different in the sense of, here's where here's where I could say it's different for me. I would say in recent history, when Nebraska was potentially able to become bowl eligible, and I guess you could throw last year in it, you know, with Michigan State, a realistic 6-win, hadn't been this, I guess, late or early. You had, you know, a ton of time after, and it's a team that you match up well against. Even though UCLA had been playing well, you should have, you know, we shouldn't say very easily, but, you know, it's definitely a game that was more than like winnable, right? And I would say this is different because as much since we've been in the Big Ten, the scheduling, you know, realistically, like, man, they just welcome to this Big Ten. You're on the road to Michigan, Ohio State, and all that, right? You could talk about the different circumstances. Then you get hit with, you know, we start out with Bo, nice Mike Riley, Frost, and then, you know, obviously during COVID, and so things haven't been set up well for us to like it be an easy transition. Now, some of it's been circumstances. Some of it, maybe is like, hey, we're going to welcome you guys in here. You guys have been kicking our butt. Now we're going to kick your butt. Now, whatever it is, in the Big Ten, when Harbaugh and Urban Meyer came in, changed it into a semi-pro league just by the way they go about things. Well, when you look at this season, right, the schedule, right, because everybody likes looking at the schedule and start guesstimating, and we all do, right? I mean, players
as a fan, you get to,
and players look at it too, like, all right, this team, you kind of measure yourself. But there's no excuses from the schedule, the time of games, how many home games, when you have a road game, when you potentially could play teams, when you could potentially be at a certain level to play teams on the road. Now, Indiana's an outlier. They're 9-0, so there's no question. Are they good? Yes, they are. They're not dominant, but they're very, they're very, very good. They do a lot of this. You know what Indiana does? They do the simple things spectacular. They do. And so that could be your asterisk, right? Now, obviously, it was an asterisk, right? Okay, that's your asterisk, right? We used to say you got caught with your pants down, got smacked on the butt, right? So then he's like, okay, well, you'd like to, you can say, okay, going to Ohio State, we're this. No, actually, we weren't. We were probably one game behind, but we had a realistic chance to win, and what we did to have a realistic chance to win was different than years prior, as far as the effort, actually answering the bell, every situation, outplaying them, so forth and so on, no matter what time the game was, no matter what time the circumstances were. Then you come home after being on the road for 2 weeks, and this is after a bye week, right? So essentially 3 weeks off the road, or without a home game. And you just, it was a little bit gloomy day, but, at the end of the day, you didn't come out and match. First of all, it's not even matching UCLA's intensity. Make them match your intensity. That's why, because it's been so surprising, because you've kind of had every year, or the couple years, you've had the excuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Transition, or Frost got fired in the middle of the year, or Michigan State was just it was 11 o'clock game up there, and they didn't have nothing to lose, and there was some really, really bad calls up there, and a bad crew, right? All that stuff could be legit. Well, this year it was set up for success. Now, granted, we're still 5-4, so we're obviously, one above 500, but ultimately, there's no question whether you go back to the Illinois game, whether you look at the lack of competitive nature against Indiana. Look, nobody really thought at the beginning of the season Nebraska was going to beat Ohio State, right? It was more or less let's see how far the gap was. That's really right.
Yeah.
Right. And probably exceeded expectations there, especially after getting your butt whooped. Then you come against a UCLA team. It's an upstart team and a new first-year coach that's never been a head coach. But here's where people ran into problems. And I don't know if the players did this. You start to look at, well, UCLA's 2-5. Well, they beat Rutgers, so did we. They scored 35 points against Rutgers. Rutgers scored 32. We didn't handle our business. We can't talk, so then you start to kind of like, okay, we're just going to roll out here and beat them. Well, here's what you, yes, Deshaun Foster has never been a head coach before. I know Deshaun Foster. I played against him.
Yeah, but if you looked on that sideline, they got a good staff. I'll say
right.
That.
Eric Bieniemy is a head coach.
Yeah.
He should be an NFL head coach. 3 or 4 times hiring cycles over. He's coached the best of all time. He's worked with Andy Reid. He was when Brad Childress and those guys were up in Minnesota and they were rolling with Adrian Peterson. He turned Adrian Peterson's career around. Everywhere he's been successful as a coach. Everywhere he's been successful. Whether it's a running back coach, a co-coordinator, a true offensive coordinator, and he had 2 weeks. And so essentially, he is the, I guess, assistant head coach. So when Deshaun Foster is bumping his head against something, or you need to address the team, and you want those guys' attention, and you want to have some edge, there ain't no more edge than Eric Bieniemy, right? And then defensively, there was a holdover from a defensive coordinator that over the last 4 or 5 years, they've had a good defense. So they have a like foundation and a culture in that defensive room and in developing talent now, right? Because you got Jalen Phillips down there at Philly or the Dolphins. Where do you think he went from UCLA to Miami? He's one of those guys. He's one of their guys. The guy that got drafted was it Latua that got drafted by Colts? Where do you think he's from? UCLA. There's 2 dudes right there, top 15 picks, right? So you You don't get top 15 picks by having like, John Smith, the ice cream man coaching. You get what I'm saying? You don't have those guys come in your program at some point in time if you didn't recruit, develop, but then also have some sort of identity. So maybe they came out and they were like, oh, we were just going to roll out of bed and do that, or maybe it was just, it looked like UCLA was a little bit more ready for a fight.
I just don't understand how that is even a thought, though.
I don't either. I'm
Like,
not built
nobody
I'm not built like that.
How can they be built like that at this point? I'm not saying this is what it was, but like, it's pretty damn clear that nobody respects Nebraska and has not for a long time, and we have not done anything to earn that respect. People don't come to Memorial Stadium with fear. If anything, they get amped up. Like, this big crowd. It's going to be fun to pull this off.
Their mindset is, well, first of all, let's go back to when they go to Rutgers. You have to be like individually motivated to fly that's the longest trip ever.
Yeah,
from
all
LA,
the way across.
You ain't going to the Atlantic.
You can't find any game where that's the longest trip in any football that we have here in the U.S. probably.
Right. Unless they went way down to Miami or something, but they're not in our conference. So this is the farthest trip for them. Southern California to Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
A long flight with 11 o'clock 12 noon kickoff and probably 30,000 people there. You got to get off that plane motivated, right? There's only so much a coach can tell you. You got to have it. You got to have your juices. So they showed up, and if you watch that game, they were ready for that. So then they're like, oh, this is a treat. We're gonna go be on TV, and we get to play in front of. Well, they ain't never gonna play in front of 90,000 people at their home games, right? And so to your point, they're not intimidated. But here's where we're at in general. Maybe some of the fan base, some of I guess just everybody that's either like maybe involved, but just kind of thinking about Husker football, just in general. Here's where we are. And this has nothing to do with like me individually or whatever. You like it. They're in a bizarre world, right? It's like you want the things that were done before, but you haven't earned it. So you want the respect of Nebraska in the Big 12, Nebraska, let's say early Big 10, right? I mean, right?
Yeah, I mean 9 games.
Yeah, 9 games with Bo, and then right, you want that. You want the intimidation. You want to be thought of as physical. You want to be thought of as that, all this, but you ain't earned it yet. And that's the difference. So if you're subconsciously trying to minimize that, you can go from Bo all the way back. So you can take 90s out of it because that's a too far for you even to be. You can't even be thinking about championships right now because your championship is one day in and day out over there before you try to get some hardware, right? So if you minimize that, and then by minimizing, I wouldn't say necessarily minimize it, but not necessarily recognizing and trying to take those pieces out of it and then make it portable into what we're doing in this day and the age of college football, because it is different. The kids are different. But if you just look at the DNA, that's transferable. It doesn't matter when. Team first. Think about winning. Do the extra stuff. Play smart, sound football. All that stuff. If you embrace it, then everybody's going to get your individual accolades. Because and I know that we've had some pretty dang good players over here that have been overlooked in all conference. But the guys that aren't as good, they get the all conference stuff based on being on winning teams. So the stats and stuff always will take care of itself. You get what I'm saying? Unless they're just so out, so you're just so dominant. I gotta put them in there, right? Like Jay Higgins last year, where he had like 200 and some tackles. Like, you can't overlook that, right? But again, he probably got a little bit of kudos because Campbell was there, and I was known for defense, right? But so I think that's part of the problem of the identity, and I think the players got to really truly like step up and lead. And before you can do that, everybody needs to check themselves. Just like straight up. Like I said it last night in the postgame show. You got to get in there. You got to get the kick. If I'm the coach, it's like, you guys need to figure it out. You guys call yourself captains, take control.
That's kind of where I'm at. I mean, someone's got to step up here.
Well, and step up isn't necessarily Well, because look, after a game like this,
I don't care if they're not on the field, but I
you're-
mean, someone needs to.
you're defeated.
Mhm.
You're embarrassed. You're mad. You're sad. All the things, right? So, like me yelling at you right now is not going to get anything. Like we're not going to get anywhere because you're just like, all right, man, hurry up, shut up. Because I already been probably hopefully been yelling at myself for 12 hours, right? You got to get in there, and it's like this is first of all, you have to really look at yourself and say, am I playing my best? Am I giving my best effort? Am I playing the best sound fundamental football that I've been coached to do? Nobody can say yes. So if and I'll go back to one time I coached a basketball team. I said, man, if you get in the car and your parents tell you playing good, they lied to you. Straight up. I said, I'm not gonna lie to you. Your parents shouldn't be lying to you. That doesn't mean that you're a bad kid. That doesn't mean I don't like you, right? Because if I coach you, I love you. But I love you enough to tell you, like, that ain't good enough. So you got to really have those hard talks with yourself. And if somebody's telling you you're not performing up to your capabilities, you got to sit there. If you call yourself a dog, right, or whatever you want to call yourself, or you're getting paid, essentially you're pro, right? You call yourself a football player. You better stop. You got to stop hearing, and you better start listening, right?
Yeah.
Because when you start listening, you might be mad, at that point, right? It's like if I say, Harrison, you ain't doing good enough. You're going to be MFing me, right? But then, you get in your car driving home, you're like, man, you know what? Jay got a point. I might not like his delivery, but the message and the content is on point, right? That's number one. And then number two, the mindset has to change to what are we going to do? We in this room going to do. We have to change it. Now, granted, some guys need to step up and do it, but it's got to be we. We have to do it. We have to block better. We have to tackle better. We have to know the defense assignments. We have to do better. We have to give more effort. We can't be getting out leverage on offense. We can't do that anymore on defense. We have to do it. It's those guys in the locker room doing it. Yeah, it's great that Coach Rule, he's going to get them like motivated and focused and all that, but that goes out the door when you're out there in front of 90,000 people. And heck, you going on the road to USC in a couple weeks, a team that just lost to Washington, and I'm gonna tell you, yeah, there's some people got some heat down here. You think Lincoln Riley? I'll guarantee you, he's thinking about, man, I might have to. This house might be up for sale. They calling for his job right now.
And it's not a bad team either. I mean, they've been pushing everybody. They just barely lost to that Penn State game.
Barely lost the Penn State game. Just lost to Washington, had the lead. But what he's been known for hasn't came to fruition. And the defense hasn't performed up to the standard of what they did against LSU. And they don't care. Because they put a lot of money in their NIL, right? They got a great running back. They got a plethora of wide receivers. They got an NFL offensive line. They don't care at USC. So what I'm saying is you got to batten down the hatches because you go into a hornet's nest out there. And let me tell you something. At 4-5 and with Lincoln Riley, he's seeing blood in the water. Right? Because he's thinking, okay, I can smooth some of the water over here if I beat a well-known team, Nebraska. That's what he wants to say. He's selling it. If I beat Nebraska, we're both 5-5. I just beat a blue blood. This is a team that was supposed to be. He's making excuses for us, for the people that he's got to make excuses to. Right? So you got to batten down the hatches. You got 2 weeks, or you got a whole free week, right? And I'm gonna tell you this: people, are texting and asking like, what would you do first? I'm right back to work. There is no bye week, bro. You know what I'm saying? If I'm on the team, where are you going? What you going home for? This is home. Matter of fact, yeah, per NCAA rules, we probably can't like practice, but I'm telling you what, come like the day we in there. We are in there. You guys see how easy I said that, Harrison? We are in there. Not me. We. All of us. Linebackers. We're meeting. I want the game plan. I want the game plan. Tell us what we need to do. I want to help us fix it. We have to fix it. I need from the coaches what we need to do more, in your opinion, to fix it, to make your job easier. That's the only way you're going to get out of this. You're not going to get any calls. You're not going to play anybody that's not good. That's going to, if you play a team that goes out there and plays like, kicking pebbles with the ball. That's just luck, right? Everybody's gonna play good. You got to expect everybody's best shot. You got 3 games.
Mhm.
So the only way that you're gonna get what you say, which is 6 wins, you got to go take it. So in this meantime, enough hasn't been done to go out there and take it. Maybe you were record watching. We're 5-1. Oh yeah, okay, we lost the Indiana. That was luck. We didn't show up to play. All right, now you kind of get into the mode where you got the, I wouldn't even call it a moral victory because it really wasn't a moral victory. Moral victories around here have been you were getting obliterated, then you made a late run, so it looks a lot better than it was. That was a competitive game against Ohio State from start to finish. Wasn't pretty, but it was competitive. So did you get too fat and happy? Like, okay, we competed and win some. So since we played this good against Ohio State, well, then it's a guarantee we play this good and that competitive against UCLA. Well, that obviously is not the case. So I think really it's a mindset change. It's got to be we, and for those guys that are seniors, it's got to be a lot more doing, right? And this is I mean, I wouldn't say it's a good bye week is never good after a loss, but this is a good opportunity to really, really sit back and say, okay, we're in the last quarter of the season. This is actually what people will probably remember maybe more than the beginning. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going and you need to come to terms with it's going to be harder. Okay. This ain't UTEP. Okay. It's going to be harder. Right. So let's just get that out. Let's just if you got to turn the lights off and just scream and say, okay, it's going to be harder. Now that's obviously, more of a joke, right? It's going to be hard. But this last 3 games, if you're able to do the things that you're capable of, whether it's win 1 game, win 2, or great win 3, this is what you'll be talked about more than anything before. So again, when I talk about how this is different, Nebraska's never had an opportunity to kind of stub their toe 2 or 3 times and have a chance to get it right. So now you got to get out your own way. If you think you're working hard, you're not working hard enough. If you think you're playing hard, you're not playing. I'm sorry. I'm not going to, like me saying this, I'm not saying that you suck or anything like that. I'm just saying if you think that you're playing your hardest, I can guarantee you're not. If you think you're prepared the hardest, I know for a fact you're not. Because here's a snapshot into my expectations on defense. They ran a fake kind of half toss, and then they ran a bootleg in 88. Well, first of all, the outside linebacker should have hit him. You never let a guy away from you cross your face without hitting him. Because number one, it's most like it could be a run play, right? The fact that it was toss action, guess what I have to do, Harrison? I got to at least chuck him, right? Because just in case us knucklehead linebackers lose our vision, it gives you a second or 2 or half a second or whatever to recover. Well, then he gets to the flat, he's wide open. Not only was he open, the guy behind him is open. Well, you know what that route concept is? In theory, it's the same one like Illinois. This guy just dressed it up differently. So when you come in these situations, you can't just say and just blindly run over there on a fake toss and not read the hi-hats, not seeing anything cross your face. You get what I'm saying? Where's the communication? Who's the backside guy right there, right? Because if we're man-to-man, there is somebody that has the last of the flat out there. Then somebody wasn't playing the bootleg. So really, we're just wrong everywhere.
Yep.
So that's where we right, need to get better at. That ain't got nothing to do with scheme. That ain't Tony White's fault. That's not Butler's fault. That's not Terrence Knighton's fault. That's not Rob Dvorak's fault, right? You talk about we need to commit to the running game, right? I saw one play, Emmett Smith got him in, or Emmett Johnson got it. I mean, heck, I wish he was Emmitt Smith, right?
Pretty good about that.
He got hit. He got the ball, got hit. As soon as he got they boom, right? So you can't sit up and granted, I'm not apologizing for any coaching, but you can't say the play calls are bad when essentially it's a simple run play and this dude's getting hit 4 yards in the backfield, right? So we got to do better. We got to lock in and block because whatever chinks in the armor we're showing, we got to make sure we rectify those. Because if you don't think, first of all, USC knows they can't stop the run. So if you don't think they're going to submerge the line of scrimmage and run blitz, you must be just put your head in the sand. Or guess what? I can sell you this bottle of water that'll give you infinity years on your life, and I'm selling it for $1 million. It ain't happening. They will run blitz the heck out of us from the get-go. That's what UCLA did.
Mm-hmm.
They are submerged. We used to call it, we are submerging the line of scrimmage, and we're making our corners lock up. So it's a great opportunity. We got to win. Everybody's got to play better. I get, and you say everybody's got to coach better, sure, but we can't call any more plays until we start executing, just doing the simple stuff. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you look at the runs where Dowdell, Emmett Johnson, take your pick, get some running room. We're doing their job. I mean, we're getting 3-4 yards a pop.
Right. Sure.
So we
sure.
Get the touch behind the line of scrimmage, and then we're off schedule, and then it's just, I don't know if that here we go is like in the players head at all, but I can't. I don't know. Like for how, and I don't want to call it just the offensive line because it's not just them.
No,
it's everyone. But it's like we got guys coming back. This is supposed to be a veteran team. Like we got to act like it here to close things out. Otherwise, you're going to come back just to not go bowling.
Well, yeah, but again, we're saying the same thing, saying different. This is what you'll be known for, right? You'll be known for coming back, not living up to your expectations or playing up to your potential, and then faded down the stretch or whatever you want to call it. And it's all controllable. That's the most frustrating thing. It's controllable. How you show up to a game is what you control that. How you prepare for a game and in your intent is how you control. Now, if there's other factors and stuff like that, that's always out there. Like when, we've had bad referees or somebody makes some great plays, and UCLA, of course, made some plays that sometimes like, hey, that's just good coverage. Okay, you got to tip your hat. But the things that we couldn't control, we ain't done it. And we ain't done it consistently enough. And so that's where really I think that for me, I can't speak for you, that's where the frustration would be.
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of the whole thing for me yesterday, I'll be honest. Like, just even when we're coming back, I mean, a lot of that for me was like UCLA was, I don't know if they just got a little bit too confident at the end there, but it just looked like they weren't playing as great. And
well, that's just them. Well, first of all,
wide receivers were dropping balls too. The offensive line was missing. I mean,
Harrison,
quite a few things.
They're 2-5 for a reason, but the fact is, they're
giving us the game there at the end.
They were giving us the chance, but that's the way football goes. We didn't take advantage of the chance. But look, they came out and brought the fight. That was purposeful.
Yeah, they looked like they loved football yesterday. I know that.
Right. So, but we didn't answer it. And so then, everybody drops passes. Ohio State dropped passes. Penn State, you're going to drop passes, but we had better coverage as well. But were we covering them dudes at the beginning?
You could take your pick. The all-22 hurts to look at.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break. Come back, man. We got a couple texts, and then we'll dive into what we need to do for the bye week. Jay Foreman, Inside the Huddle, Advanced Medical Imaging. We'll be right back.
Kingdom Sports Minute with Ron Brown.
During the 1929 Rose Bowl, Georgia Tech was playing the University of California when the ball popped out of the hands of a Georgia Tech running back. Rory Riegels, the University of California center, shoveled it up and cut across the field. Riegels lost his bearings and began to run downfield toward the wrong end zone. His teammate, Benny Lom, pursued Riegels downfield, yelling at him from behind to turn backward. Finally, Lom was forced to tackle his own teammate 1 yard short of scoring for the other team. Peter momentarily lost his bearings and gave way to the Judaizers, thereby compromising the gospel. Paul's rebuke, unlike the shouts of Benny Lom, turned Peter around. The Galatians, like Peter, had become disoriented in their doctrine and their conduct. Paul reminded readers that salvation in Jesus unites all people, regardless of race or social status. They were all sons and daughters of God, inheritors of his promise. He taught against the different gospel. They were no longer under the law, but now lived by faith.
Visit kingdomsports.online.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosson. Education is a cornerstone for strong, vibrant communities. I voted for the largest investment in education in Nebraska history. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Nebraska is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local family business owners and understand the valuable role of education in growing our community. This is Carolyn Bosson, and I will continue to support education in the legislature. Vote Carolyn Bosson on November 5th, paid for by Bosson for Legislature.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Be sure and call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technician will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown Shoe Fit. Now, through October 31st, take $15 off any regular priced fall shoe and boots. Brands like Keen, Obos, Echo, Taos, and Atrex, all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale that you've all been waiting for. So get down to Brown Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
Early break.
Dick Libby is alive. He was the head coach. He would back me on this. One time he came to social studies class, pulled me out, and said, I want you to consider going out for football. And I didn't. I pretty much dismissed it right away. No, I can't. I'm not going to do that.
Just because of your dominance in baseball, didn't want to risk the injuries of the potential scholarship. That was it.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. Back to Inside the Huddle, sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging. Here is your host, Jay Foreman.
We're back, Jay Foreman, Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Dr. Finn, Dr. Razan, take good care of you. Take care of all your, at least for me, take care of all my imaging needs, which I go and get 2 or 3 times a year, but then also provide some relief for me as well. We got some text here. Unknown texter is 8445, says everyone beats Nebraska. Everybody wants to beat Nebraska. Danico says from watching the game, where is he at? Oh, from watching the game, we showed no emotion or urgency on the offense. It's simple things like being focused and executing plays in the games on Saturdays. I mean, that is pretty simple. I think the urgency and the emotion of the game probably wasn't where you want it. And I will say this. I did read something, I guess a former player, Colin Miller. And I think he was the dude actually when Frost first got here, he hurt his neck, right? He's number 31.
I can't remember
think so.
sure.
I think so. I
I
don't want to say it, but he was talking about he he was talking about the crowd and how he was disappointed the crowd left. Bro, that's probably not the tree you want to bark up.
Well,
no,
I'm not blaming anybody for yesterday. Like it's
the crowd doesn't do anything. First of all, I guess I ask you. My job as a player is to make you cheer.
Yes.
Your job isn't to come cheer for me if I'm not doing my job. Right?
Mm-hmm. I'll say that and a lot of this has changed. Like I used to kind of be the guy that's like, I'm going to stay till the very end. I'm like, these guys are putting in their blood, sweat, and tears. This isn't the result they want. You add money to the mix. Now it's like people are spending their hard-earned money, taking a day off from work to maybe come up here for the day. And like a lot of these guys are getting paid money and they're getting more,
yeah,
they're getting paid for it while you're spending money in Lincoln to go watch these ball games. That whole NIL thing kind of just changes the mindset of a lot of fans, and for good and bad.
Yeah,
they don't have to sit there and watch it.
Yeah,
they don't like the
and the
product.
expectations go up, but I think also no matter what you're getting paid, your expectations, me as a player, should be higher than anything that you should have as a fan or as a patron.
And I hope they do. Like I'm not here to say that.
So I can understand it, but then also that should motivate me even more. I can't be mad at you. Listen, you cannot be mad. I tell kids this all the time in basketball. You cannot be mad at the results that you get from the work that you didn't put in. I can't be mad at fans because they was like when it started getting cold, like I'm out of here.
Yeah, I didn't blame them.
Yeah, so I can't be mad at them. Mississippi Mud Dog says he's got a bad feeling about these last 3 games. He believes Tony White will make some changes and shore up some of the defensive woes. I have zero faith in the other side of the ball. Our offense is going to struggle to score points. Chris says, Jay, you're 100% right with the players. They are not controlling the controllables and not go out there in the front and not get out from the front. 5 wins they did, the 4 losses they have not. And that's really kind of true. The distinct difference. JP says, have a good Sunday. Love listening. Appreciate it, JP. 8729 says, I watch teams, even bad teams, go up and down the field with explosive plays, except Nebraska. They can't do anything. It comes down to execution. Look, I said this from the very beginning when Dylan committed. We have a 18, 19-year-old kid. He's a freshman.
Yeah.
And he came in January. That's great. Most kids do, right? He's legit, got talent and all that. And he's clearly the best quarterback we have. But in order for this season to end right, or now I said, in order for this team to be successful, everybody around him has to play well, has to be motivated, has to be so motivated. I want him to look good. I have to be so motivated that I don't want an opposing defense to hit our quarterback. You get what I'm saying? Everybody else had to step their game up. Does Dylan need to play better? Sure. I mean, he'll tell you, but I have no problem telling him. You know what I mean? I'm sure. First of all, I know his dad probably told him, right? So that's a known. But also look at it like everybody else needs to step it up. And this is not pointing the finger. That's just dealing with where we're at. Now, if we had if we had a Lamar Jackson back there and he's in a senior year, then okay, like, dude, okay, like kind of like, all right, we need you to kind of like bring everybody on. These dudes all play more college football than him.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one guy on that team that's played more that Dylan's played more college football than on that offense. And take Barney out of it because they're both freshmen, right?
And Barney's been the guy that's been the bailout guy more than anybody else,
right? But so there's all them other guys. They've all came with experience,
right?
They've been to practices. They've been through. They've been to trap. They've done it all. Step up, dude.
Well, it's just that. But is there one play call that we feel confident in right now? Well, we know we can get yards.
I think they, that inside like zone gap. I call it like a little gap. That little trap play is pretty good.
Okay.
They've done. I mean, but it's short yardage. They probably feel confident in. I think, blocked up right. Like their over routes, they feel pretty good. I mean, there's probably a couple, but the execution and efficiency needs to go up. And I don't know. And like I said, I'm only talking like I'm just watching it on TV. I mean, because I only watch it on TV. So I'm not in meetings. So, but I can only talk about experience from my end, experience that I had in these situations. Primarily since I think they're pros. From my time in the pros, anytime we went in, listen, you lose 2-3 games in the league, that's like death. It's miserable. Everybody's on edge. Everybody thinks because that happens. You never know. But everybody might get fired.
Yeah.
But here's I'll talk about when I was in Buffalo, when we were winning, and then we eventually ended up going to the playoffs. Now I'll tell you what we had, and this is how it goes. And if we go a little bit longer, and I'll never forget this, man. It was my rookie year, and we went, and we had a talented team. We had eventual Hall of Famers, and we weren't playing well. I think one game we scored 9, other games we scored 14. We were playing like garbage. We had number 1 defense in the league, but we weren't. We just with math wasn't mathing.
Sound like my Bears. Go ahead.
So we had this like team meeting room, and it wasn't very big because they didn't do any renovations to the stadium. So this is back with Jim Kelly. It was tight in there. Wade Phillips got up there and put the stats up. I had this return guy's named Kevin Williams. He played with the Cowboys with Emmett and those guys. University of Miami guy. He stood up. Now, mind you, he was just prime. He was the 3rd or 4th receiver, maybe 5th, but he pretty much a Pro Bowl returner. He stood up. K-Dub. I love K-Dub too. I can see him right now, man. He had a little gold tooth. I love K-Dub. He used to always say he would go to the barber, but he still had a 5 o'clock shout out. He's like, I'm getting tightened up. Bro, you ain't look like you got tight. But that's my boy K-Dub, right? And he'd get busy with it. He stood up and he just said, listen, all the coaches, administrator, GM, he kicked the GM out, kicked Ralph Wilson out. All y'all get out. And everybody was like, damn, like some of the GM, like John Butler, and they were like, you serious? He's like, yeah, get out. Right? Stood up. Y'all get the hell out. So he got up there and he said, listen, man, we got a chance to do something great. It's all about how we finish. We had 4 or 5 games left. And as a matter of fact, we had a bye week. And so he said, listen, we got a chance to do what's great. We gotta do more. We gotta focus in more. We've lost our edge from where we were beginning. We started out like gangbusters. Hit the lull. Oh, we'll do it next week. Lost another one. Oh, we're focused. Hoorah, right? Lost another one late too. And now, matter of fact, we lost to New England. That's what really pissed us off. And he's like, we all got to do more. And everybody said, and this is the funny about K-Dub. He's like, look, there ain't no I in team. He's like, but there's an M-E. That means it's the letter M and E. He's like, you got to take care of me. And then we got to do we. Now, it wasn't the most eloquent, obviously, message, but he challenged everybody. He's like, we know who ain't working. We know who ain't, and it was like simple stuff. Who's getting all their workouts done? He's like, he went around and checked everybody. Called them to the carpet. Some of them were Hall of Famers. Right? And from there on, we went 4-0. Now I will tell you, we went down to Miami and lost a heartbreaker, but we finished strong. But then also what we did was during that bye week, I mean, I'm telling you, Harrison, we went back to the basics. When I'm talking about, we went from we had our base defense was Okie Saw 1. That's essentially base defense, outside linebacker, blitz, cover 1. And we went through every formation, every play that affected us or could affect us. Then we went to cover 2. Then we went to cover 4. Then we went to cover 8. Then we went to cover 6. Then we went, whatever it was. Then we brought in the blitzes. And when I tell you, for 2 hours straight, how mentally taxing, and then they were like, that's what you should feel like after the game. And then they went and made the linebackers tell the D linemen what they need to do. Made the D linemen know what we needed to do. And then I needed to know what the safeties needed to do. I needed to know what the corners are going to do. And then it would have to be like, okay, in this scenario, Jay, if they somehow get trips to the wide side of the field, Why does the corner should be able to play a little bit hard man? What is the call that you need to be listening for the safety, and how does that affect you? And you put everybody on the spot, because now everybody has to know. So that's how we got to get better. So because we got to know what we're doing on every single play. And then we, obviously there's a lot of fundamentals and stuff. And so that was really how we were able to literally just throw us out there. And the coaches put it out there, and then we had to figure it out. We had to figure. Then there was a couple times we didn't do it right, or we didn't have the right check. He's like, listen, the first call, you play it. Everybody has to play it. And then we figured out after that. And so that's the best thing you can do. You can go to you gotta go right back to work. You can't sit there and run away from it. But then also I think also is imperative. Hey, if I'm a player on the team, you ain't going. Where you from, Harrison? Where you from? Up in
Northeast.
Yeah, you ain't going home. I'm just telling you.
I agree.
There is no vacation, bro. Like, we're here. You know what?
There's no time to be hanging out, catching up right now.
No, you know what we need to do? We need to put in some extra days. You know what? Matter of fact, maybe we need to get together and break bread and watch some college football on Saturday.
Silver lining, it's fixable for me though. But it's just are you going to choose to fix it? It
is fixable, and that's the frustrating part. So that's how you fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, granted, you can maybe break, do some self scouting and all that. That's the coach's job. I'm talking what the players can do. Because as a player, I want to play so good that I put the onus on coaches to help me play even better. Put me in situations that I can dominate. But we got to fix us first. And so it all is fixable. And you got 3 games to fix it. Matter of fact, you just got 3 days. I think you got 3 practices this week. It starts with the next one. But it just don't start when practice. Whenever that next practice, it don't start then. If you ain't thinking about USC and what we need to do better right now, then I got to come see you. Because then we're in. Listen, Harrison, we're at the poker table. I'm telling you, we had a big stack.
Mm-hmm.
We're down to our last little, $300. We're going all in.
And across the table is Lincoln Riley, and he's doing the same thing.
Hey, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you calling me? I'm not even thinking. You know what I mean? I'm not bluffing either. We're going. I don't care if we got the crappiest hand. We're gonna make it something. We're gonna hope we get a couple of aces or something when we draw. Right? We got to do it. We got to go all in. That's got to be the mentality. We got to go all in. And it's not just going all in just to do it and say, okay, this is great. And everybody stands up.
Right.
Oh no, we're going all in. We ain't breaking. We ain't breaking it. We can't break personality either. So that's what you do. Obviously there's more to it, but it definitely is, controllable and fixable. Now you got to demand more, and then obviously you got to be willing to do it. It's not an easy thing to do at this point in the season, but it can be done. Jay Foreman, Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical MG, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Quick break. We'll be right back. Put a bow on this bad boy.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Across Nebraska, voters will have the chance to end the current government abortion ban. The government shouldn't be making decisions for families' health care, but right now they are. Ending the ban takes 2 votes. a vote against 434, the first initiative, and then a vote for 439, the last initiative. It's only this combination that will finally get the government out of the personal medical decisions of Nebraska families. Voting against 434 and for 439 ensures that when there's a medical emergency, it's Nebraska families who decide what to do, not the government. This vote against 434 and for 439 makes it so our Nebraska doctors can treat every patient. The government put this ban in place, stripping Nebraska families of their freedom, but you can end it with 2 votes. The first against 434, and then vote for 439. Paid for by Protect Our Rights.
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstoRats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Midwest Bank is proud to be your local community bank right here in Lincoln. This is Travis with Midwest Bank, now with 2 branches conveniently serving Lincoln and 8 other locations across Nebraska. We're here to help you with any of your needs. From opening a checking account to buying a home or financing your business, our staff is here for you. Stop in and you might see Shin Daddy himself. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Learn more at midwest.bank. Member FDIC.
At Farm Bureau Financial Services, we strive to provide you with the right coverages for all your insurance needs by taking the time to meet with you and review what coverages best fit your needs. So whether you're in the market for home, auto, farm, business, life, or a combination of any of these coverages, we can help with making sure you, your family, or your business have the right coverage based on your individual needs. If you would like to review your insurance needs, please contact Ben Spurt with Farm Bureau Financial Services at 402-217-9945 or through email at ben.spurt@fbfs.com.
It's the greatest time of the year again. Kickoff is here and football is officially back. Over 1 million fans across 33 states got in the game last year by making picks on Underdog, and this year you can too. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com and sign up with promo code EARLY, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code EARLY to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 19 plus in Nebraska and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Bryant at 402-467-1111 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-1111.
You never think cancer will happen to you. I smoked for over 40 years. My doctor recommended that I get annual lung cancer screening. They were able to catch my cancer at stage 1. It's never too late to quit. Even if you're still smoking, you need to ask your doctor about annual lung cancer screening. Just 30 minutes a year could save your life.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to Inside the Huddle with Jay Foreman, sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman. Inside the Huddle, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneer Boulevard. Obviously, going into the bye week is not ideally the situation you want to go in after, a loss to UCLA. But, there's a lot of decisions that, you need to make. But ultimately, there's 3 weeks or 3 games left. And so you got to make sure that this is your season. You got a 3-game season. And actually, you got a 1-game season. And, you can even dial it even back. You got a 1 practice season, a 1 meeting season. You really got to, really go back and do the simple things and really put your best effort forward as a whole to, perform the best in this next game. And, everybody's going to want, heads to roll. I don't really necessarily think that's the best way to go about it, especially when you have a little bit of a mentally fragile team, especially where, guys are looking for steadfast leadership. Now, Coach Rule does it, then, I support him, but I would never get on the air and say that. I think everybody just needs to do better and commit to doing it and demand more. And if you ruffle a little feathers, that's fine. At this point, maybe it's not ruffled enough, and it's not personal.
We're running out of time for wake-up calls here, so.
Yeah, I just think you just need to, it's not a wake-up call. It is a wake-up call, but I think it's a call to action.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
It's a call to action, like serious action. So, that's where we're at. It's whether, like I said last night, and I'll leave everybody with this. Don't tell me what you want to do. Show me what you did. Right? Don't tell me you're going to address it during the bye week. Show me what you did come 2 weeks from now, right?
Yeah,
Show me what you did.
Just watching the post game on YouTube, nobody's words aren't going to patch anything up at this
point.
point.
So just show me.
Exactly.
Right, show me. See, and then you can say, I told you so. Mm-hmm. And then that's where you could really get some meat on the bone there. So anyways, appreciate you guys listening. Jay Foreman, Inside the Huddle. Once again, Advanced Medical Imaging, 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Dr. Finn, Dr. Razdan will get you on the right path along with that great staff over there. We'll holler at you next week.